In a previous video in the series, I showed how to produce a sample from the schema. We produced this sample, which is an object diagram. In this video, what I'm going to show is how we can edit this diagram by just editing the JSON sample file and then synchronizing it back into Enterprise Architect. And then I'm also going to show you how you can take the values that are in this sample and move them back across into the class as initial values, which would then affect any subsequent sample generation, basically to be able to replace these values, which are just template values, with more meaningful values for each of the attributes. So the first of those things I wanted to show you was if I drop back to my editor, so this is the file system export of the sample. What I can choose to do is I can choose to replace these values as I would like. Choose Mr. and just choosing them at random here. Level type, unit type, let's say this is an apartment. Okay. I can make various edits. I'm going to save that file. I'll switch back to Enterprise Architect. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the model-driven generation. I'm going to choose to sync the sample, sync the diagram from the sample. And what you'll see is the unit type came in, the first name came in, the title came in. So what it's done is it's that capability allows you to more quickly change the sample, which is a bit tedious to change in Enterprise Architect, as you do need to find the attribute, change the value, so it involves a number of clicks. So that's a capability to so more easily keep the model up to date. I also want to show you, now that I've brought some of these edits in, so what I can now choose to do, I'm going to select this customer party. I'm going to choose extensions, API, model-driven generation, and I'm going to choose to update the class from the instance. Okay. What it does, it goes through the attributes, and for any value which is not value, it copies the instance value across as an initial value on the class. So I need to find the classifier, which is the customer party. If I here I have the customer party. If I look at the title, so you'll see that, you have to take my word for it, but previously it did not have a value for title, and now because we've synced the instance across to the class, it's brought that Mr. across. The value in that is, if I now were to generate another sample, instead of having a value of value, it would have a more meaningful value for title of Mr. Okay. If I were to subsequently go and change the sample, let's find that Mr., make it Mrs. Save it again. Let's bring that change back in. Alice and Mrs. I do need to pick the entity I want to synchronize, and I can update more than one class by selecting a number of entities. Okay, so again, if I go back over to the for instance, if I drop over to the schema diagram, what you'll now see is that title has default values of Mr. and Mrs. And again, when I generate a sample, it will randomly pick one of those two values. This is just going to provide a convenient way to make the classes representative of samples, so that in addition to the semantic provided by the name of the attribute, the idea is to also have a list of sample values that are reflective of the domain of that attribute. And finally, what I will demonstrate is the ability to make changes to the schema and then have the objects be updated. So for instance, if I happen to decide that I wasn't happy with the name of that attribute, and I decided to call it title2, it's changed on the schema diagram, but you'll notice it has not changed on the sample diagram. We still have a value of title for that attribute. But what I can choose to do is select that and choose to update the instance from the class, and it will bring that change across into the class. There's still going to be a bit of work to do this sort of more in a more bulk fashion than currently is supported. I currently do have to select each individual object and choose to do that, and there will be some work left to do with this add-on to be able to probably make a change to the class and push it through to all the instances of that class. But the basic idea is going to be able to make changes to the class schema diagram and propagate those changes through to all the sample diagrams.